Hello, my name is Angelina Korupali. I'm a collaborating researcher at the Institute of Computer Science at the Foundation of Research and Technology in Greece. And I will speak to you about the policy and the strategy that are important so that we can establish interoperability of digital health in Europe. I will describe you why it is important to have a framework to guide interoperability. And I will give you some examples of frameworks that we can use. The World Health Organization has devised a global strategy on digital health. And in this strategy, it states that in order to improve health for everyone and everywhere, we need to establish affordable, scalable, and sustainable person-centric digital health solutions. These digital health solutions are important because it will help us to promote health and well-being for all. So digital health is in the forefront of policy for health and well-being for all throughout the world. But it can only be achieved through digital interoperable information technology infrastructures that are used across all care settings, including public health authorities, universities, research institutions, and also the private sector. Health data sharing is a fundamental requirement in rendering this vision into reality. Health data sharing can only occur in digital health. It holds enormous potential to ensure that people live longer and healthier lives. It can bring also economic benefits to health systems and also to those who are involved in innovation. Despite the opportunities and benefits, there are major barriers that hamper the wider uptake of e-health. One of these barriers is the lack of interoperability in digital health solutions. I think we are all aware of this important problem. But interoperability is fundamental. It's very important because only through interoperability, reshareable and reusable data, we can achieve personalized medicine, we can achieve coordinated care, we can achieve citizen empowerment by mobile applications that citizens can use, and also improve health outcomes and further research so that we can make clinical research discovery more feasible. So shareable and reusable data introduce many opportunities. It's very important to eliminate silos because, as I said, we can create new intelligence for serving patients and caregivers. Healthcare for all at the point of need can only be achieved through interoperability frameworks. It is very important to have interoperability frameworks because these will be the policy and strategy requirement to guide the design, the development, and the implementation, as well as the procurement of digital health solutions. So countries need to have these frameworks so that we can create these interoperable digital health ecosystems that will enable seamless and secure exchange of health data that are built on trust, are secure, protect privacy and confidentiality. The European Interoperability Framework is such a framework. It's a generic framework for public administrations that can be also used in the private sector and guides the delivery of interoperable public services, interoperability guidelines. It focuses on European, national, regional, but also local level. And as I said, includes public administration, citizens, but also businesses. The purpose of the IF is to contribute to the digital single market. It fosters cross-border and cross-sectoral interoperability. It has several guidelines that guide the design delivery of seamless European public services. And it has the concepts of digital by default, cross-border by default, and open by default for all the services. It has 12 principles that drive interoperability actions that refer to data portability, user centricity, openness, inclusion and accessibility, reusability. It has recommendations of how these things can be implemented. And it draws a very general picture that encompasses also all the different interoperability governance levels, including the legal interoperability, organizational interoperability, semantic, and technical. So in the integrated public service governance, it is very important to focus on all these different categories and not just the technical or the semantic that we traditionally focus when we talk about digital health. So technical interoperability has to do with promoting the sharing and reuse of common infrastructures. The semantic interoperability calls upon public administrations to structure the data in commonly agreed formats. And the organizational interoperability calls for simplifying the organization and streamline the processes to listen to the real needs of citizens and businesses. And finally, legal interoperability has to do with establishing the necessary national registrations and regulations so that they are clear, coherent, and can make good use of digital technologies. In Greece, we have a wide availability of HR systems, but at the moment, we have also a very large fragmentation of information. Data quality is questionable, and many of the formats and standards in HR systems are used across the country, which are incompatible. So information sharing cannot occur. It's very important that new legislation is established. The framework, interoperability framework is outdated. It dates from the 2012, so it needs to be updated. The new interoperability framework of Europe can guide this process. Data governance also is very important to support the effective delivery of the appropriate information at the point of need. And also we need to think of the Greek national health sector and the national health system more as part of the wider transformation that occurs in the public sector. So we need to see also what interactions are occurring in the public sector in general and see it as part of a wider ecosystem. So it is important to have the strategy and the right conditions in order also to procure and acquire interoperable digital solutions from the beginning. So as we have seen, interoperability is a very complex societal issue. It involves various actors, dissimilar perspectives. It involves existing systems. It also has policies, governance structures, and also it's part of a coevolution in the broader societal dynamics. It is very important to address the existing structures, but also to focus on emergent vision for citizen empowerment that will allow an improved insight into the feasibility of change, because interoperability implementation is also a process of change. Interoperability enhancement has many benefits. It can contribute to cost reduction, integration through reuse of available services. It also is part of the orchestration of services in an effective manner. It can maximize the service outcome and benefits for citizens and public administrations, but it's also very important to have a strategy to do evaluation that will be linked to policies, because a continuation of the assessment, governance, and implementation of physical public services nationally will only occur if we have an evaluation strategy in practice. So to recapitulate, it's very important to have a health interoperability framework that will guide interoperability actions throughout the national level and will go all the way down to regional and local level and at the citizens level, which will be governed by security and privacy principles. E-health governance will be set in place so that every member can and every different structure can know how to be part of this general interoperable ecosystem. It's very important to have digital health quality assessment in place, and also important to have a healthcare process modeling and service vocabulary, as well as interoperability learning programs. So further work is important so that we can establish the development and implementation of seamless interoperable services, and also to enable member states to harmonize with the relevant EU directives and drive interoperability towards integrated services for citizens. The new European interoperability framework can be used towards this way, and it has been implemented in various areas throughout Europe. And with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please contact me at these contact details. Thank you again.